An hour vanishes into messages, meetings, and small requests, leaving nothing truly important finished by evening. Busyness fills the calendar because every interruption seems urgent in the moment, stealing focus from priorities. This issue grows when time is managed but attention is scattered, leading to low energy for extended periods. Productivity improves when time, attention, and energy are treated as separate resources that can be protected deliberately. The cost is seen in unfinished projects, delayed decisions, and the constant feeling of chasing the next demand. Over weeks, this pattern trains people to accept shallow progress while high-value work keeps getting postponed. Imagine a morning planned for one project that turns into inbox triage, quick calls, and reactive task switching. By late afternoon, focus feels worn out, and the only visible results are replies and tidy checklists. In the following minutes, the conversation covers priorities, focus rules, energy management, and time constraints that create meaningful output. Subscribe to learn the practical experiments behind the Productivity Project by Chris Bailey and apply them with less daily friction. Productivity is not just about doing more tasks, it's about accomplishing what matters through better management of key inputs. The mechanism involves balancing time, attention, and energy so that effort moves toward meaningful results rather than constant motion. If one ingredient is missing, output drops, even if the other two are fully available each day. This mismatch explains why long hours can still produce shallow progress and lingering stress after work ends. Some days are packed with activity, but attention fragments, and nothing requires sustained thinking or real decision-making. Other days, if you protect a few blocks for one objective, the same hours produce clearer work and calmer follow-through. This approach turns productivity into a controllable system, allowing each ingredient to be adjusted separately when problems appear. It also prevents self-blame because the issue is often a missing input, not a character flaw or laziness. Notice which ingredient fails first in your day: time limits, attention leaks, or low energy, and name it plainly. Then choose one change that supports that ingredient, like fewer meetings, a focus block, or earlier rest. The rule of 3 involves setting 3 annual outcomes and 3 daily ones, allowing them to guide your efforts. This approach reduces decision fatigue by focusing the mind on 3 key targets, eliminating the need to scan for endless options. When priorities remain vague, urgent tasks can steal the best hours, turning the day into a series of reactive moments. With clear priorities, progress becomes measurable as completion is defined before starting work. A common pattern is checking email first, then spending the morning on questions that don't align with your goals. A better approach is to list your 3 outcomes, then use email only after protecting the highest value block of time. This method ties time and attention together, providing a reason to ignore lower value tasks. It also conserves energy by reducing the number of switches, which minimizes mental residue and preserves capacity for deeper thinking. Write your 3 outcomes in one place and review them before accepting any new requests or meetings. End each day by noting which of the 3 outcomes made progress, then adjust tomorrow based on this evidence. Attention is limited, so productivity increases when focus is treated as a protected space rather than an open channel. The process involves removing cues that trigger checking, then working in single-task blocks long enough to think clearly. When attention splits across messages, tabs, and conversations, the brain incurs a restart cost that slows every task. This cost compounds into frustration as work feels busy while important problems remain unsolved. Consider a work session where notifications stay on and the phone sits nearby, inviting constant glances and quick replies. Contrast that with a quiet block where alerts are off, and one hard task gets full concentration. This method supports the broader approach because attention is the gateway that turns available time into real progress. It also preserves energy by reducing stress and keeping the mind from overheating through constant switching. Create one daily focus ritual, clear the desk, silence alerts, and start with the hardest outcome from your rule of 3. Subscribe to keep learning focus experiments that protect attention and make meaningful work easier to repeat every week. Energy is the capacity to think and persist, and it fluctuates throughout the day, even with a consistent schedule. Biological prime time is the daily window when energy and focus are at their peak, so it's best to allocate hard work during this period. When energy is low, tasks take longer and mistakes increase, making time feel scarce and stressful. When energy is high, the same hour produces clearer thinking, better judgment, and faster completion. One pattern is to save difficult work for late in the day when energy is lower, then using caffeine and urgency to push through. Another pattern is to use the prime window for deep work and reserve routine tasks for lower energy periods. This approach is linked to the system because energy supports attention, and attention turns time into meaningful output. It also reduces burnout by planning recovery, rather than ignoring it until exhaustion forces a shutdown. Track your energy for a week to find your prime window, and schedule your hardest objectives there consistently. Support this plan with basics like sleep, movement, and food choices that keep energy stable instead of spiking wildly. Time becomes usable when work is given boundaries, rather than being allowed to spread across every open hour. Parkinson's law suggests that work expands to fill available time, so loose deadlines invite unnecessary effort. Without boundaries, small tasks inflate, meetings stretch, and planning becomes vague because nothing forces a finish. With boundaries, decisions get faster as the mind searches for the simplest path that meets the real requirement. One pattern is to leave a whole afternoon unscheduled, then watch admin work and interruptions consume every minute. Another pattern is to set a clear end time for a task, which encourages focus and cuts optional polishing. This idea aligns with the overall approach because time management works best after priorities. Attention and energy are addressed. It also creates realism because a plan is tested against actual hours, not optimistic guesses or wishful thinking. Set start and stop times for your top tasks, and treat those times as commitments rather than suggestions. Batch small tasks into one container and protect at least one uninterrupted block for meaningful progress each day. Productivity improves most when output is tied to what truly matters, not just the volume of tasks completed. This shift occurs by treating time, attention, and energy as resources that can be managed intentionally. Priorities become clearer through the rule of three, which defines success before the day begins. Attention becomes more usable when distractions are reduced, and focus blocks are protected for hard thinking. Energy improves when biological prime time is used for demanding work, and recovery is planned with basic habits. Time feels more abundant when boundaries and start-stop plans prevent work from expanding and consuming every open hour. Begin by measuring one aspect, tracking attention leaks, energy highs, and time sinks. Then pick one lever to change. Keep the experiment small, repeat it daily, and let the results guide the next adjustment. Over time, a few simple rules create steadier progress and more satisfaction from work that actually moves life forward. Subscribe if building a calmer productivity system matters, because new episodes continue to refine these practices with clear examples.